Okay.
We did it. We're here.
We did it.
Woo!
Sarah,
And that's
episode
half the battle.
522.
522.
Yeah, it's like how I always said, like if you're writing a book or paper for school, if you have the title, you're halfway there. I feel like when we push record, we're halfway there.
Halfway there.
We're almost done, really.
Almost done. Pretty much done. Not like I want to rush through this, but it just feels like, Also,
something.
We've accomplished something. And you know what? We need to be giving ourselves pats on the back.
Have you noticed this with your clients that like people are too hard on themselves?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And everyone. And and myself. Oh, Suze. Let me tell you, this crazy thing that happened to me, and sometimes I love when the universe just gives me signs. I was in a training just like this past week, or maybe it was last week or something, and we were doing a mock therapy session where I was the client.
Oh, God.
And of course I'm going to say yes to that because the woman who's leading the session is like an expert and charges like a whole bunch, and I'm like, free therapy?
Oh,
yes,
so you
please.
Wait. So like even though you're role-playing, you could actually use your own problems.
It's not you need to.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That sounds fun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's the best. And I'm like, and everybody was like, in the group chat was like, oh my God, thank you for being so vulnerable. They have no idea that I literally am vulnerable for my other profession.
I live
you want to hear 522 hours of vulnerability? I got some. Here's a link.
A lot of practice.
Yes, I totally said that. I said it to because people were like sending me, and they were so nice, and they were like sending me emails saying like, "Thank you for being able to open up about that stuff." And I wanted to be like, you don't need to thank me for this. This is like my bread.
You're like, this is my signature move,
right? This is my move. This is my signature move. Right. This is like put on like this will be mentioned in my eulogy. Let's like.
That's true.
So as I was in this doing this mock session, one of the things that like research really shows is the importance of mindfulness. Like mindfulness, and in our book club book, we learn all about it. It's like the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Most important. So one of the elements of being mindful is being non-judgmental. So we want to practice coming from a non-judgmental place all the time. And so, because as soon as we judge, it sends our mind to the stories. It gives us like the past that all these feelings come with it whenever we judge. And judgments can be positive or negative. So, and most of the time, the ones that we're doing are more negative.
Right.
Those are the ones we notice. And the ones that affect us, like, whatevs. But, so as we're doing this and I'm, talking to her, she was like, oh. And it was like, I felt like I was doing a therapy session with myself because she had this I was like, if anybody wants to know how I am in therapy, this is it. And she was like, whoa. Look, can we just like point out how many times you have to criticize yourself? How many times like I'm going to get out a little buzzer and we're going to like ding you for how many times you? Yes.
Oh my God.
How many times I like say, or like shoulds, like, oh my God, but I should have done this and it should and then, I did that and that was so dumb of me and blah, 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 blah. Okay. That happened. And then the very same day, I open up and you can like believe in this or not. It's just like whatevs. It was like just an interesting coincidence that maybe I have to take a look at and think about. I opened up my this app that I use that's like your horoscope and like based on your chart and everything, like you. And so every day it's different and it's like just for you specifically. And it said, everything is going so well. So why do you paralyze yourself with self-criticism? Don't let your anxiety rule you. Don't sabotage your own progress by undermining yourself. And then it said, are you ready to talk nicely to yourself? Are you learning how to speak to yourself in a kind voice? And I was like, what? On the same day that like somebody dinged me for how often I was being critical of myself?
Wow.
Look
validation there.
Yes.
Did you learn a valuable lesson?
I learned that we shouldn't criticize or judge ourselves, and we need to be much nicer to ourselves. So to answer your question of do I see that in clients? Yes, and in myself and in everybody and in family patterns. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Mom.
Poor Sally.
Well, I think
just listens to the show for a little bit of time with her daughter, and next thing you know,
there was something she listened to recently where she was like, I did realize that it, like, she had like an aha moment listening. I'm
whoa.
Like, okay.
That's great.
Yes. So.
Okay. Well, we're doing the Lord's work. We already knew that.
Yeah. This is like a good segue into talking about like the Lord's work, or people who are scared that maybe some things that are going on are undermining, quote unquote, the Lord's work.
Okay.
It's like a sort of good segue. Not my best. I read this article that I am so angry about, Suze. It was in NPR, on NPR, whatevs. Alabama is now allowing yoga in its public schools. Apparently it was banned before, but with some serious rules and guidelines. I can't even believe this. So as we were just talking about, or I was talking about in my rant about 2 minutes ago, mindfulness is like so important and the best. And, you are not allowed to say namaste.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to do any sort of guided meditation.
Yes.
You are not allowed to, what else did they say in there that you can't do? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you not outraged?
Well, yes, of course. It's ridiculous, but it's also not surprising because that's how I grew up. We weren't allowed to do yoga.
Oh my God, no wonder.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Please explain to me what I don't understand how, and that's what this article, like, I'm reading the words, but I just don't understand really how somebody can think that poses are indoctrinating people with Hinduism.
It's not really the poses that they're worried about.
They were saying that they look like that the poses are actually to honor gods, and so when you are in those poses, you are bowing to different gods, chanting mudras, mandalas.
Yeah.
Any other word that starts with them? No. Introduction of hypnotic states, guided imagery, and namaste greetings shall be expressly prohibited. You're going to fucking jail for saying the light in me honors the light in you. I'm dead.
Yes, this is very scary to people who believe, I'm going to try to keep this real general because I really do try to avoid a lot of religion talk on the show, but sometimes it's hard.
Oh, don't worry. I'll do it. I got it.
You're like, I'll do it.
Yeah, I have no problem saying these things. Oh.
Okay, so, I mean, if you asked individual people like my mom why we weren't allowed to do yoga, she said that it was because when you are mindful and you meditate, that you clear your mind, but then what can happen is the devil can get in there and you're leaving yourself open to these demonic forces. And then that is coupled with their fear of things that are the other, which of course includes, foreign religions, that basically anything that's not Judaism or Christianity.
I mean, I want to know how. Well, no, that was a dumb question. I was going to be like, how scientifically? Can you explain that? Of like that, and then I was like, oh wait, never mind. We're not using science as our base.
How would you describe meditation to somebody?
I would describe it as I think that there's like a misconception as to what kinds of like there's fixed point meditation. There's like, I think that, and mindfulness really is being present. So I think it's being in the present moment and letting go of the past and the future. And it's very, there's like a formula to it. If like observe, describe, participate, it's almost connecting with your senses and the environment you're in a way where you can actively participate in life rather than participating in life based on the memories and stories and fears and worries in our own head.
Mm-hmm. And like you feel that it's powerful and important, and that their fear of it should validate the fact that it works and is effective and transformative.
That's nice. That's good to know.
Because if it weren't
they're fearing
powerful,
it, then that
they
means
wouldn't
it's
care.
powerful.
Yeah.
This sounds like my mom, who would always be like, "That's what the government doesn't want you to know." Like she's like,
but not in a scary way. In a way that
no, but like
can
in the way
help
like
you.
you're so powerful. Like that's why they don't want you to know that like how powerful you really are. Like that we can do everything with our own mind, and like, okay, because it is true. I mean, and we're seeing the science catch up to that, and I know why. Like we know why. We know what areas of the brain are affected. We know what frequencies the brain functions at and what areas of the brain are, online, so to speak, when a brain is in a certain state, and things like mindfulness and meditation induce these states not to allow things to sneak in, but to relieve a person of discomfort, to relieve stress so that we're not in distress.
Yeah. But this combines all of their favorite things, which are, racism, xenophobia, ethnocentrism.
Oh my God.
And Christian nationalism, aka white supremacy. I mean, this is all of the things that they don't admit to being a part of their ideology, but are certainly.
It's very important to I don't know. I know that you're so smart. We have to talk about this stuff. Well, I don't even think about it because this is so not the world that I grew up in.
Yeah.
And it is I said this about making jokes and about the vagina things in previous episodes of when you make fun of it if you don't know it, and I think it's important. I'm sitting here being oh my God, can you believe this? And it's like a joke, making fun of it because I don't know about this side of it, and I think it's so important to kind of I feel it educates me and
when you read about it, what was your first thing? Was it just sort of what is wrong with these people, or just sort of
total outrage? That's cuckoo crazy. The idea that it's like saying don't hang. To me, it falls in the same category as it's ignorant. Don't hang out with if you have a parent who's gay, you're going to be gay. It's gay. Being gay is contagious. Don't hang out with somebody who's gay. Then come on.
Well, things like this are scary too because if you don't understand them, if you come from a Christian-centric worldview, this can seem very exotic, which can feel very scary, and you can feel the thing that, we talk about with the white supremacy, it's this feeling of I'm about to be outnumbered. A fear of victimization. So you outlaw things that just are the other.
Yeah.
But it's good news that they're allowing it, but it is funny that they can't say namaste and
that there's been a ban since 1993, I think. And it's just I
that's
can't.
more fun to me is going back and seeing what happened in 1993 that made them fucking scared.
Yeah. That's
because there's
interesting.
always something. There's always a context to like, how the band
I
happened.
I think that was like right in line. No, that was probably a little bit later. 1993. That was long. How old was I? I was like, when did Madonna get
Right.
real into like Hinduism
Yeah, like
for
that
a
was
minute?
98, I think.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that was like, it was like right in a line then. There was like one quote that I can't find now, but there was a parent who said that when like their child, and maybe it was in another article now, that their child had been sent home a meditation tape or like a guided meditation or something like that, and that when they were done listening to it, the child was looked like they were on drugs, and
Right.
yeah, I was like, you mean the kid was relaxed? Like, how sad
You
is
mean
that?
like Xanax?
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Oh my God, I'm screaming. I swear my neighbors, like, well, who cares?
They're like, what happens on Thursdays?
Right.
Well,
they must like that. It's really funny.
Sarah and I both love yoga, of course. We support this new thing in the
Yes.
schools, but we also love Ana Luisa jewelry.
Oh my God. So, which, hey, you can totally wear when you do yoga.
Yeah, you could actually.
I wear this I never take it off, and it looks so beautiful. It is my favorite. I love my jewelry.
I started proselytizing to Sarah about how you want jewelry that like you can wear all the time, that's timeless and
Yes.
classic, and
like
we
not
found
super cheap and gonna break on me in 2 seconds, and like
garbage
and turn different colors and make my skin green.
Yes, we
Not
do not
anymore.
want that. And that's why Ana Luisa is so cool, because I am big into sustainability and reducing carbon footprint and stuff. And that's what they're all about. Carbon neutral. 100% of the carbon emissions related to the products are offset, incredible quality, and they are affordable still. Make sure, I mean, you can check out, the jewelry can start at $39, and there's a 10% discount I'm going to tell you how to get. But they have new collections that are released every Friday. Here's how you spell the name of it if you're looking it up after the show. ANALUISA, Ana Luisa. It's really nice stuff. I want to see the pictures you took of the piece.
Oh yes,
The pieces that you're wearing.
I love it.
But they're just really awesome. Ana Luisa, ANALUISA. And they have a 10% off deal for you guys. It's analuisa.com/braincandy. Treat yourself and your loved ones to beautiful pieces. Use our code BRAINCANDY to get 10% off. I highly recommend them. Great brand, making beautiful, sustainable jewelry. It's analuisa.com/braincandy, code braincandy. I think this would be a great gift for graduation. You know how like when you go to college and you don't have any good jewelry?
For sure.
That would be good.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, at least they're doing some yoga in Alabama. That's a
my God.
step in the right direction, right?
Yeah. Because like I've been really practicing. Like, do you practice mindfulness? Is that something
I certainly
that you
try, but I suck
Yeah.
at it, if that's what you mean.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, I'm a work in progress, I should say.
Yes, I like that. That little positive
ding
reframe.
me.
I know. See how I just planted that in your head, and you like became aware and corrected yourself in that? Magic! I love it. Ah,
Work in
it
progress.
is. So, one of the things that when I was in this workshop and doing this whole thing that you know, she was the one who was like, oh, also you should like eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And she was giving me the advice of mindfully eating. And so I tried that. It is a whole, I did not realize how fast I was like eating my food and I mean, shoveling it into my mouth like I'm, you know,
I have
in
a whole theory
prison.
about this with you.
What is it?
Well, first of all,
Oh my God, I love it. This is like double therapy.
I mean, you're always flying by the seat of your pants.
Yes.
So it happens a lot where you'll just be like fitting it in. But I also felt like you do that because like you have this weird guilt about eating, so you like want to make it as short as possible.
Oh my God. Susie is my therapist. You can just deduct this from like, my pay and that's
Right.
Take this hour out. Oh,
no, I don't know if that's
God.
true.
No, I think it's very true. I think that because I can remember I'm very aware of like, I have like that metacognition, like the awareness of like the feelings, as we all do, but like I'm very aware of, oh, well, here are the feelings you're having about the feelings. And I can like think of the other times where I've recognized other behaviors that I've done and been like I used to like to eat in the dark.
Oh, wow.
And I realized that. I was like, oh, well, that's a thing. And, and could think that and like put those pieces together. Like, and not like I'm eating in the pitch black, but like notice that you're doing certain behaviors too that maybe are connected to those feelings, like the story I was talking about, the past that like, and all those feelings that come with it. We can't have those feelings that come with everything in the story when we're in the present moment. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. They can't coexist at the same time. You can't be your mind can't be in the present moment and in the past. And in the past is where I've said that 1,000 times, all that depression lives and like probably those feelings of guilt.
Well, and you had told me that you had you had put on weight after the trauma of the sexual abuse.
Yes.
And that, the food was the comfort there.
Oh, yeah.
And so I can't imagine that those things ever kind of get totally separated. So it would just make sense that like you would still connect. And you don't want to endure that pain anymore, so you like make it real speedy.
Oh my God, you're so right. And I see it as like in some ways like indulging myself, like you need comfort, right? Oh my God, this is so eye-opening. This is like just become my own therapy session. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully my vulnerability can help others. But yeah, like my mom and I were totally having this conversation too, because it's like, it's definitely like, I follow this account on Instagram called like Overheard in LA or something like that. It's just funny shit. It's hilarious. And one of the things that I saw was a tweet that was like, we're like not really a big food family. And I was like, oh my God, do they overhear me and my mom talking the other day? Because that's what we said. Like, cause we're not, we're like eating to, there's like two kinds of eating. There's eating to just sustain bodily, like keep you alive. That's like that frantic eating. And then there's the other kind that feels like that we feel like that I'm eating for comfort thing. Mm-hmm. And I think we're like ignoring that part and totally just racing. Yep. For sure. Because to like my family, it was like, if you have to stop and eat, you're weak. And there's like a whole bunch of layers to that. And then that's how that's how I comforted myself with food. And I'm trying to avoid those feelings.
Well, and then like whenever you did put on weight as a child, then they had that impression that you weren't an athlete. Even when you were much smaller and successful in athletics, like you still had this identity, according to them, that you were just sort of that person for a long time.
Uh-huh.
That's so weird.
It is so weird. Like, I'm telling you, man, our book club pick for this month, What Happened to You, was so eye-opening. And, it was, remember how you said that you were talking about the Habits book and you were like, there's a lot of this that like felt like I know this book, like inside and out. This was me. I felt like that with the trauma one.
I'm sure you did.
I was like, oh yeah. Oh, I could write this. And it's very validating when you read things like that. And, and just to fill people in on one of the things that I think is so powerful from that book is the switch from asking the question of what's wrong with you to what happened to you. Mm. That is so like freeing and liberating in a way. Because I feel like even with all of those things, we just feel like it's all us. And we just hold on to these.
You even say the phrase, what is wrong with me? I say it constantly.
Oh my God, all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's what people say to where do we learn that?
Right.
Where do we learn that? Like, oh, what's wrong with you? Why did you... Oh,
I say it to other people too. Like, it's supposed to be a joke, but it's just because that's just how we see the world, all of us, societally.
Right. And isn't what's wrong with you a judgment? Like, it's a question, but it's really a judgment.
It's super fun to say, though, when it's like a superintendent situation. Because I'm like,
yeah, because what the fuck is wrong with those guys? What is wrong with that guy? That is such a difficult thing to balance in my heart. The respect and love that I have for the humanness of humans and the peopleness, and then my desire to be hilarious on a podcast and tell people about it.
I think we do pretty well, to be honest.
Oh, it is difficult.
Because humans are funny and ridiculous. Yes. And let's say you are publicly pooping. Like, this is your habit. Okay? Like, something might have happened to you that's really terrible and that causes you to do that stuff. But I'm still going to say, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because that's a funny way to think about it. And we don't know these people.
We don't. Right. And you know
what?
They
should also talk to a therapist about what happened.
For sure. And I wonder if like can we say what happened to you and it be that funny?
We'll pepper that in.
Yeah. Let's like what do they call it? Workshop that?
Yeah.
Let's workshop. Oh my God, what happened to you?
Yeah.
I could see that. That could work. That sounds kind of natural.
It might come down to the inflection, like, what happened to you?
Oh,
we'll try different ways.
Love it. I love that one.
One thing that happened to us both recently is that we discovered the magic of Dipsy and the sexy stories.
Amen.
I'll
tell you what happened
running.
to me. Oh.
That's what happened to me and can happen to you too, because Dipsy is this awesome app that encourages you to find whatever sexy stories can get your motor running so that maybe you have special alone time with your body or with your partner or partners, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do.
Yes. We're not judging.
I think it's great though that it like gets things heated up, you know, and is, I believe, really geared towards the things that maybe ladies want from X-rated stuff, but don't always find.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's like soothing. Maybe you want a sensual bedtime story to give you good dreams. Who knows?
Yeah, well, and Suze, I gotta say, I don't know, the more I learn about people and the peopleness of people, the less I really want the visuals of...
Amen.
So I want to hear it, and I want it to be safe and everybody to be...
Amen. Yes.
You know?
Healthy. Yes.
Yes. And I like that with my audio stories.
Yeah. And they have all kinds of stuff. They even have wellness sessions and, like I said, bedtime stories. They have soundscapes. So it's not just like hot and heavy. You can get what you want. So for listeners of our show, Dipsy's offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipsystories.com/braincandy. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to DIPSEA stories.com/braincandy, dipsystories.com/braincandy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway,
oh, yes.
Is our therapy done? Are we still talking about that?
I mean, I feel like my next subject is just going to turn this into another therapy session for me.
Let's hear it.
Did I already talk to you about post-pandemic dating?
You did not.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Because
Thank God.
I was wondering, like, thank God, because I feel like I've been having this conversation a lot with people. And then I was like, did I talk about this on here? But then what that makes me think is that when I first found this article or was thinking about, like, writing stuff down for this, I was like, maybe this is just a me problem.
Okay.
And then when I was like, oh, no, I'm talking about this to a lot of other people, it's probably a everything problem.
Yeah.
And, or everybody, thing.
Most things are, let's be honest.
Right. And it's like the post-pandemic dating scene is, or even like pandemic dating scene, let's be real, is kind of, it feels like going into it as a single person, it's kind of scary and intimidating. But the article that I read that was in Vice says that we don't have as much to be worried about as maybe we thought, because the things I think, at least I'm worried about, everybody else is worried about too. And that's like the hookup culture is kind of done.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. The studies show, like a report came out from the Kinsey Institute that said people are looking for more serious and committed relationships. They're more specific about what they want. And it's like all good news.
Okay. Well, that's
in
great.
a way.
Because it's not going to be on this episode, but I just interviewed an author, Nancy Jo Sales. She has a book out called Nothing Personal, My Secret Life in the Dating App Inferno. Oh. I'll tell you what, Sarah, I was like, thank fuck Sarah did not choose to go on dating apps this time.
No, I'm not. I can't. Oh my God.
It is a nightmare.
Well, and I was texting with our Brainiac, or messaging on Instagram with our Brainiac Splats, shout out Splats, who was telling me all about
lady.
like the what do they call it, acronyms in dating websites, and I was like, I don't even know what. Like, I didn't even know that there were those.
Yeah.
So that makes me scared because, like, you have to learn, like, an entirely new language. And it just, if we've shortened, like, conversation, like, we're just, like, it just feels fast and cheap. Even in the messages, we can't even say the full word.
Yeah,
you're not even take time to write out a whole word in like a ad for somebody that's like a partner that you want for a long time.
Yeah, it's all this weird shorthand.
I don't know. Like, that just is weird to me. Is that just me? I don't know.
When she told me that too, and I was like, I am so glad I am not in that world, because
oh my God.
That sounds terrible. Yeah. Even things you've told me about, like the Venmo culture, where like you split the bill, and I'm not into it. Man.
Can you even believe it? Can you?
No.
I would not. Like, I do not know. I'm like all about. It feels like, I don't know. It just feels like. It feels like it's transactional in a way. It's that, like, I don't know. Is that the right word for it? Like, so there is that daunting feeling, but it felt really reassuring to read from this. There were a couple relationship experts that were interviewed for the article that said people know way more about what they want, and they're really looking for more serious relationships.
Yeah, like stability.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense, since it is such a tumultuous and uncertain era.
Yeah.
But like, well, how are they measuring that?
I think self-reports or like surveys and things like that, because it was from like the Kinsey Institute, like researches relationships, and I imagine they just do. This is just like a, relationship, like surveys. So, how reliable is that? And also, like, what is it? Everybody who subscribes to the Kinsey Institute mailing list, and is that like a, this was like, right. This was like the info that was inside the article that, I didn't click on the link to.
I think that they're known for rigorous academic scholarship, though. I don't think it is just sort of like we polled our followers or whatever.
Yeah. It was that, okay, so more than half the single people between the ages of 18 and 45 said that they wanted to find a committed relationship post-pandemic.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, from the report, it said, as we emerge in the near future from pandemic... My computer said the website was reloaded because it was using significant memory. What? That's not a thing. What? It just in the middle of me reading the article?
That feels like sabotage.
Yeah. What are you trying? Are you trying to tell me what is it? What message is the universe sending me today?
Right, Kinsey. What are you trying to say here?
Okay, where we were. As we emerge in the near future from pandemic restrictions and lockdowns, researchers say it looks like post-pandemic sex will be about taking our time, seeking out new relationships and partners, and demanding more and better in the relationships we have.
Mm-hmm. That is encouraging.
Love that. One of the things that was in this article that I was like, oh my God, this is the part that I was really excited to share with people that I think goes against your nature maybe, but is right in line with mine. Number one dating tip from this article, do not spend a ton of time texting or poking around the other person's social media before you meet them.
Right.
Did you know this?
I think you told me that part.
Did I tell you that?
And
I do say that
right.
I never do it. I've never Googled,
not.
Honestly, I've never Googled somebody that I have met on on dating app or whatevs ever before I met them. One person I did after I met them, because I had my suspicions, and I was right.
I had my suspicions.
Yeah, I was like, something seems
you
sketch.
had a gut feeling.
I had a gut feeling, and then based on my gut feeling, then I looked at that. But
in general, do you think that's because you enjoy delayed gratification or what?
Oh, I wonder if I do enjoy delayed gratification. I claim that, I know it's what I should. This is the meta-awareness thing. I know that's what I should do or that's what I want to do, but it's not. I only say that because my default is absolutely what you call mood-driven behavior.
Ah, yes.
There's task-driven behavior.
Yeah.
And then there's, I think that's what it's called, and then mood-driven behavior. And oh my goodness, if I don't come from a family of people whose engine only runs on mood-driven behavior. What do I feel like right now in this moment? And that
it's very
is
emotional.
Yes, that is something that I have to work hard to kind of, Now I just am thinking about that. I got so emotional in that conversation. I don't even know what the hell I was talking about before.
I just am curious about how you resist because I'm in the now business and if I am thinking about somebody, I just want to know right now whatever I'm curious about. But I admire the fact that you don't do that.
You know what it is? I think for the same reason I don't like Googling anything. I enjoy the puzzle of figuring it out. And I suppose when my job is to kind of I don't know, just ask questions to be curious, to find information about somebody's inside world. That's what I want to do. I like doing that. It's not as fun if I could just here it is. It's like having a crossword puzzle and looking at peeking in the back for the answers.
Yeah, okay.
In a way, I don't know, maybe.
That's how it feels.
That's how it feels to me. Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Look at us, jinx. But this gal, this dating expert who was getting interviewed for this said, and why that is what it is, and why we shouldn't peek ahead, is. And this is the part that I didn't know. And cause I can understand, okay, maybe we shouldn't do that because it paints a different picture. But people get attached to the fantasy of someone that they haven't met yet.
Yes, you did tell me that. That makes sense.
It's the fantasy that then and this is the exact same thing. When I read that, it was all the gears click, click, click. Oh, that makes sense because we do the same thing in relationships. Mm-hmm. When we imagine, and when there's the breakup, when we imagine the life together, and it's not sometimes it's not the ending of the relationship that's the sad part. It's the like breaking down of the images that the fantasy that you had for the future. And gosh darn it, if this doesn't all relate back to mindfulness, because if you stay present, you wouldn't be thinking about that future stuff. So you really do we have to work to like fight against this natural instinct to like create a fantasy future with a person.
Yeah.
That is hard for me.
Oh, you mean after you start dating someone?
Oh my gosh, maybe I don't do that because I like to do it in my head.
Yeah.
I am a Pisces. We do that.
I always felt like that was part of the miracle of Adam and I ending up together, because on the show, we're not supposed to talk to the crew. And so we create these elaborate fantasies about like what they might be like, who they might
I love talking to you about this every day. Like we oh
had
my
so much
gosh,
fun.
so much fun. We were guessing like, okay, this is the shirt he's wearing today. What do you think kind of music he's going to like? And what do you think? Like, I remember all of that. It was so fun.
Yeah, because we had nothing to do, so it was a way to pass the time, and it's just fun to imagine, like, what's this guy really like? And so then when we met, for him to exceed my expectations, that's a real amazing miracle, I think.
Oh, yeah. He really did exceed your expectations.
He did. So
I mean, gosh.
I got lucky.
And you had good expectations, too.
Yeah.
He's just like a gem of a gem.
He is a treasure.
Oh, a real treasure.
But, oftentimes we make these narratives up and then they're duds.
Yep.
When we meet them.
It also said that by thinking about that future and being too caught up in the fantasy of it, you can ignore the red flags.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
That is your other signature move.
Oh, signature move. You know what I am? Colorblind.
Yeah.
I am emotionally colorblind to seeing the red flags. And
it's like, remember when we were optimistic, but like about relationships.
Yes.
And
it's like I see the flags. They're a waving. But I'm like, that'll probably be fine.
I can solve that because you're also a problem solver.
Oh my gosh. See, I told you it would end up being a second therapy session.
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't mean for that to happen. But
that is what I want to avoid with you whenever
therapy sessions?
No. And if you choose to get into another relationship someday, I want you to not have that problem again where like you look at people with such rose-colored glasses. It's totally very nice.
Yeah. I'm going for a new, what would Megan Thee Stallion do?
Oh, well, tell me about her.
Or what would Cardi B do?
What would they do?
They would definitely not take any shit, and they would be like, I'm deserving of a whole...
Yes, they know their value.
Yes!
Yeah.
I need a little bit of that. I need to be like, no.
Why
I'm
don't
not... You come to me like that. Why don't I?
Because I was just talking to Adam about this with you, because you're this bizarre dichotomy or like paradox of like, you're very confident in some ways. And like you'll toot your own horn and be like, I am awesome at puzzles or whatever it is.
Oh my God, that horn is in like the it's broken. It's constantly just.
But then in other ways, like you're not really into like thirst traps or anything that calls that kind of attention to you.
No, not at all.
Maybe it's because of the abuse. I don't know.
Let me read you a quote from this book.
Yes, please.
When you've been groomed to be compliant, confrontation in any form is uncomfortable because you were never taught that you have the right to say no. In fact, you were taught that you can't say no. The sense that you aren't deserving enough to set your own boundaries has been stolen from you. Many people react by burying their feelings of no and becoming people pleasers. I fall into this category. For years, I would say things that I knew I really didn't want or say yes to things I knew I really didn't want to do, or avoid difficult conversations because I could not live with the discomfort of speaking up for myself. I've known other victims of trauma who sabotage situations until someone else says no for them, meaning their relationship ends, a friendship becomes toxic, or they lose a job. This is what I hear hear you say when you talk about people who poison intimacy. I was like, oh, let's underline that.
You're like,
Applause.
A Sarah Rice story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was like, oh, hashtag relatable.
Totally
like,
relatable. That
was it. I was like, I can't say all of those other things are true. I do. I feel like, I can toot my own horn. I can do all that stuff, but I don't feel deserving of setting. I struggle to overcome my automatic responses to not speak up for myself and set boundaries. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to say anymore that I don't do it, because I swear this year has been like a whole new year of me saying, okay, we're going to have that conversation right now. And, I am going to, talk about this thing that needed to be talked about. And it had more to do with me being able to tolerate the distress that it causes me in those confrontations, because I was taking on, like, the other person, when I, set a boundary, when anybody sets a boundary, often the other person doesn't feel a goddamn thing. Mm-hmm. It feels awful for us. And so we're like, oh my God, I don't want like any confrontation. They're like cool as a cucumber. And like the making the bed thing, that I think I said it like a couple episodes ago, where I was giving like myself like a heart attack over thinking about what my partner was thinking about me not making the bed. And he's like, I've never thought about that ever. So like these things that we think, oh my God, if I bring this up, it'll be so confrontational. And then you just take on the emotion that you put yourself in this state of distress, and you're so like dysregulated when that emotion, because that emotion triggers a whole bunch of other stuff of like, oh my God, this is a scary situation. And then you just like,
it all amounts to like, I'm not enough.
Yes. Well, you do what you have to do to survive a scary situation. And what my trauma brain system says I need to do is be like complicit and be non-confrontational and accept whatever love somebody is willing to give me.
Well, and look where that got you on the challenge.
Bro.
I mean, not to rub it in or anything.
For sure.
No, but yeah, you can see it play out.
Yeah, well, absolutely, because like, if my mom hasn't said that a million times, we are given lessons over and over and presented with the same situation, because we are, and that ties together with our the habit book too. Mm-hmm. This is it. This is why, I go back to the very first thing we were talking about like the yoga stuff, where it's like, it's cuckoo crazy to me, because the science of why this stuff works, and it's all like connected. We know this. We know what happens to the traumatized brain. We know what happens when, people like these memories and how they're stored, and the parts of the brain that are active when somebody is in a trauma response state, and like the like triggers like a real thing. It's not just like a buzzword that people throw around. That triggered response has to do with your your endocrine system. Like there is a system, and this is the what do they call it? Sequential arrangement of the brain. This is how it happens. This is how information goes into the brain. These are the areas that it goes to. This is fucking science. And I just I don't even know where that conversation started, but yeah.
I was just talking about
damn the man.
Your dating life and like how you...
Oh, God.
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, requirement number one, you got to go to... I think I need somebody who's definitely been to therapy. Like, I'm like, I don't care what... I don't care. Let me see the receipts from therapy. Or I want somebody who, like, Yeah, I want somebody who loves going to therapy or like would like that. I don't even care if like, if you're an anxious person, all that stuff, I'll take it. Because like I want somebody who's like really going to appreciate being with a therapist.
Right.
Another therapist or like, because this is how I talk all the time.
Is there a stereotype about who therapists end up with?
I think it's other therapists.
Oh, okay.
I don't know though.
Right.
The other thing that I think would be a good is like comedian. That is like, because like I can get that and I can understand but like not comedian. I just realized that I'm depressed. Comedian, like I realized that this is like where my jokes are funny and now I'm in the healing process of that kind of thing. Like again,
right.
like maybe like, self-aware, you could have that and like, I think I was joking with a friend the other day. I was like 5 out of 9 of the criteria in like any, thing in the DSM. Like not full, not all of them, but I'll take a couple, it's fun to work on here and there, but not like the full blown, DSM diagnosis. That is a joke. I don't even care. Cause look,
That is a joke. Oh my God.
I have like 10 of the things in there. So who does it these days?
Well, I'll be anxious to see how it continues to unfold.
Yeah,
your dating life and your therapy progress.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is so funny. So yeah, like when you're dating, just like don't make be present is like the theme of this episode.
Yeah, and
Present-mindedness.
we've been talking about that for the entirety of our show.
Oh yeah.
But it just is always good to remind people because we all forget and get out of the routine, and it's very like you have to be on top of it. And
oh my God, yes. You know what? That reminds me of what I like where this even all began, and then I got like sidetracked with 5,000 conversations, or different topics with the mindful eating thing.
Oh yeah,
Suze, I mindfully ate a couple meals this week with the intention. My dinner one night was 45 minutes. Can you believe that for me?
that's a long time for you.
That, are other people right now thinking that's regular when I say that?
I don't know that a lot of people pay attention to it, but because I have food issues, I do.
I couldn't believe it. Is that would that be a normal time for you? A long time?
That would be a normal dinner.
That's like normal dinner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to a restaurant, I think, no, I still scarf down the food. Anyways, mindfully eat. And it kind of feels like you're on drugs when you do it because you're like, there are 4 P's on my fork.
Oh my God. Were you bored though?
No, I was fascinated. And I was not high or drunk or anything. I was not on drugs. I was on mindfulness. I kind of see what that lady was saying now.
Right?
Okay.
They're on to something.
I heard it. I did hear it.
Yeah.
I was like that. I did feel like I was on. That is. Oh my God. That is funny. I did not even mean.
But you already
make
know
that connection.
It implicitly because you understand the ways that your brain releases the same chemicals that are found in drugs.
Yes.
The same.
And it's like, let's use the good reward. Oh God. Yes. Again, science people. Oh man.
Maybe we should wind it down.
Maybe we should. I'll save my other ones for next time, but because maybe that'll just wind me up more. Oh man, we learned a little bit about Sarah's inner workings of her mind. Thanks to Susie,
it was very
the therapist.
therapeutic because we covered mindfulness, we covered vulnerability, we covered like relationships.
Religion,
spirituality.
Spirituality.
I mean, we got deep today, guys.
We did. Yeah, I feel tired. That's it. Just
Sorry.
like that. No.
Maybe it's
apologize.
relaxed.
Yes, maybe that's it. I'm being mindful.
I hope you guys are mindful and go to our patreon.com/braincandy because we got a lot of fun stuff there.
Yes.
And tonight actually is our book club.
Oh, can't wait.
And that'll be fun.
And you probably have heard us talk a lot about the books that we've been reading. We've been reading some really, really, really good ones. I mean, always.
Yes.
And if you're like want to know a little more about the books that we talk about, freaking join. It's like whatever you want to pay. Slide and scale. Just hang out. And you don't even have to read them. You could just like hang out, no video, and just like laugh along with us. You could just
watch. Or you can watch it later. Like if you don't even want to do the live, you can just watch the video later. Because some people I do feel like get freaked out by Zoom and maybe have like Zoom burnout. So,
for
like, if you just want to watch it later, you can do that. But it's a really fun community, really nice group of people.
I really look forward to seeing everybody every month.
Yes. So check that out. You can join that on our Patreon or on our website. And,
Be mindful, my friends.
Be mindful. Thank you for listening, and good day.